because growing up, I was taught that in life, if you want to be successful, go to school, study hard so you can be employable. I did all of that. I studied and I was blessed enough to get a job, which was something that I had studied for. I am a scientist by profession. I was blessed enough to get a job, something that I had studied for. However, ladies and gentlemen, my salary was not enough. When I first got employed, I felt like, oh, wow, it's a permanent job. It's something that I've studied for. I know other people that are unemployed graduates. So just me getting this job is a blessing. At that time, I did not have much financial responsibilities. And that's why even my salary at that time, when I just got employed, did not really matter, if I may say that, you know. But as time went by, my financial responsibilities increased as I became a wife and a mom. My financial responsibilities just kept piling up. And I quickly realized that my salary was not enough. As a result, ladies and gentlemen, I was unhappy. I want to take you back to 2012 when I was buying my very first car as a scientist. This was a year before I had my firstborn. I was buying my very first car on my dad's name. As you can see there, the salesperson is asking for my father's ID, his driver's license, his pay slip, and utility bill. As a scientist, full-time employed, having a permanent job, I was buying my very first car on my dad's name because my financial status was not allowing me to buy a car. So, because my finances were not in order at all, I decided to do what I knew best at that time, which was to further my studies with the hope that I'll get a promotion at work or an even better paying job. But I accumulated my postgrad qualifications. However, that promotion that I was hoping for did not come. That better paying job that I was hoping for also didn't come, which also then made me realize that in order for me to get my desired income, I need to look at other ways that rely on me, because that promotion does not depend on us. That better paying job does not depend on us. If your boss doesn't like you, if your company feels like you are not worthy of that promotion, or another company doesn't feels like you're not worthy of them employing you, then you will not get that the job you desire. So I then had to do an introspection and said, what can I do? I feel like I've reached a ceiling. So, in terms of my personal life, I separated from my husband a year into our marriage. I had to move out of our marital home because it was his house in his name. I had no claim over it. But when I moved out of our marital home, I actually left with debts that I accumulated in my marriage. And how did I get into those debts? It was me trying to sustain my household because I felt like, oh, my husband is paying for the home loan. He's paying for the roof over our head. Let me then take care of other things to take the weight off his shoulders. And I could not even afford to take care of those things. But so that's how I started getting into debt. And what do I mean by other things? I mean, like our day-to-day basics, like the food, groceries, the helper, um, electricity, all those things. And when you look at how his money was going towards his property, whereas my money was going towards perishables. When I moved out of my marital home, I couldn't pinpoint anything that I've taken my money towards during this marriage. I moved out, I could not even afford a place to rent. I could not even afford to stay with our child. At that time, our child was just a year old. I had to separate with him and took him to go and live with my parents because the cost of living was just too much. And because my finances were not in order, I was going through the stress that my marriage has just failed. It started affecting my health. That I started suffering from stress-related health conditions. A lot of us underestimate the effect of stress on our health. So I started going through stress related conditions. As a result, my medical costs started escalating. My medical fund, my medical aid would run out of funds during the course of, before, halfway through the year. And I would then find myself having to now need to spend money for me to consult because I was constantly sick. Now you can't even afford to take care of your health because it's just too much. And that's when I realized that I need to do something. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of my situation. I still remember in January 2016, when 2016 started, I said to myself, Kumo, in 2015, when the year started, you were hoping it's going to be your year, but it wasn't. The same with 2014, it was also not your year. My point is every year we keep saying, this is going to be my year, it has to be my year. But what are we physically doing in order for us to ensure that it becomes our year? I still remember in January 2016, I had literally cut every single cost and I had nothing to cut anymore. The only thing that I had with me at that time was my car that I had bought on my dad's name. And I thought, you know what? If I downgrade, take the car back to the dealership, I will just use public transport. That is where I was in January 2016. And someone introduced me to, sorry guys, okay, so someone is trying to record. We can't record because I'm halfway through the meeting. Someone introduced me to the product that you are seeing there on the screen, the aloe vera gel, and they said, you're always complaining about being constipated, being bloated, use this product. It's going to help you become more regular. I started using the product. You won't believe me when I tell you how the way I was so stressed, even my skin was bad. It was show on my skin. I would have like pimples. I was just so frustrated and it was showing. So when I started taking this aloe to help with my digestive system, I also saw how my skin was starting to clear up. I wasn't breaking out anymore. So I started loving the product, even though I wasn't aware that I can actually do the business with the same product. And in February 2016, a month later, my sister connected me with a lady from Facebook that was posting about how she's helping people supplement their incomes around their careers. And when I saw that post, I said, you know what? Let me go to their meeting and hear how I can make an extra income around my science career. At that time, ladies and gentlemen, I still wholeheartedly believed that my breakthrough in life was going to come from my science career. I went to the meeting. I was told that it's a life changing business opportunity. Now, the word life changing is big, and I want to change my life. So, when I got to that meeting, it was a physical meeting, just like the one you are attending now, but the one you are attending now is virtual. So, I went to that meeting. When I got there, I saw there were products displayed on the table. And I thought to myself, oh, I remember I've been using this product. So when they said a life changing business opportunity, they were referring to these products. At that point, I still couldn't comprehend how products are going to change my life. But I honestly looked down on that business opportunity because I thought to myself, I'm a scientist, I'm educated, I don't know how selling is going to change my life. Do I even want to sell? I'm very shy. I've never sold anything. Is this something I want to do? So I had so many doubt and I could have easily walked out of that meeting, but I said, let me stay until the end and just listen and hear um, what this business opportunity can do for me. So I was shown the business side of these products. I was listening to people sharing their testimonials, and I must say I walked into that meeting very negative. I walked into that meeting having so much doubt, but more than anything, having had lost hope because I felt like my situation is hopeless. I mean, I'm drowning in debts. When I get paid my salary, it comes into a minus and it still goes out the same day. My account is still on a minus. So, how am I even going to get out of this hole? But when I left that meeting, I heard how other people were in the same situation and through the business they managed to get out. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what gave me hope. Even though at first I felt like I won't be able to do the business because, like I said, I'm very shy. I don't know how to talk to people. I've never sold anything before. Selling was not for me. But what made me consider the business was the fact that I had been cutting costs so much, but I was still struggling. When you are cutting costs and you get to a point where there's nothing to cut anymore, but your finances are still not adding up. I was there and I felt like, Kumo, as much as you feel like the business is not for you, honestly speaking, your financial situation is not allowing you to turn the opportunity down. So I really decided that I'm going to do it. And I want to talk to someone that's in this meeting and they're probably saying, but Kumo, I don't know a lot of people. I'm not even a people's person. I want to say, when I started the business, I didn't know a lot of following. In actual fact, when I was looking at because I post mostly on Instagram. When I was looking at my Instagram earlier, my post from 2016, when I started my journey, I used to get 3 likes, not much interaction. So I want to, at that time, I also didn't have a lot of people that were following me. I probably had less than 100 followers. So I want to say to you that you don't have to know a lot of people to start a business. A lot of people will know you once you get started. So I started because I wanted to make an extra income. And the reason why I'm sharing with you why I started the business is because I also want you to start thinking about why you would want to do this, why you are in this meeting, and why you would really work your business, because those reasons are exactly what will push you even on days where you feel discouraged. Because I won't lie and say to you business is easy. It's not easy. And with our business, unlike a job where every month your salary comes in, our business, literally every month you work for your income. So you need to also make sure you are self motivated. And what is going to motivate you is knowing why you want to do this. So I started because I wanted to make an extra income. I wanted to be able to pay up my debts. Literally, I was tired of getting paid and my salary gets finished the same day. I was tired of not being able to answer calls of numbers I don't know because I'm worried that it might be debt collectors. I was tired of living from hand to mouth. I was tired of also not being able to send money home to my parents because they were taking care of my son. So I wanted to pay up my debts. I wanted to be able to afford to pay rent because when I moved out of my marital home, my sister allowed me to stay for free in one of her rental properties, but she only gave me a year. A year passed and I still could not afford. So I wanted to be able to also pay rent and I wanted to get the products at a discount price because I started using the product before I got into the business. And I was told that when you get into the business, you're going to get products at a discount price. But, ladies and gentlemen, my biggest reason for starting the business was my son. He was in daycare here, staying with my parents. I could not even afford to pay for daycare when I started the business, but I wanted to be able to stay with him again, and I also wanted to be able to afford to pay school fees for him. Those were my two biggest reasons for starting my son. Those two things. So this was in 2016 when I started. And I want to say to you, when I started on this day, honestly speaking, I wasn't so confident. I didn't think I've made the right decision. I doubted my decision for starting. In actual fact, a part of me believed that I have just made the biggest mistake of my life. And I can tell you roughly a summary of my first 3 months in the business. I was embarrassed. I was shy. So the fact that I was embarrassed and not even talking about the business, I wasn't making money. And I could have easily said the business is not working for me. But I did an introspection and I said, Kumo, the same business you are in, other people are doing well in it. So what is it that you are not doing that those people are doing? I really assessed my work ethic and I said, you're not doing Any of those things that those people are doing, you're not talking to people about the opportunity. You're also not talking to people about the products. And I always say, when you are in business and you don't talk about it, people won't know what you are doing. It's the same when you are in a dark room full of people and you are winking at someone. No one is going to know you are winking except you because it's dark. The same in the business. If you're not going to talk about it, no one will know you are in business. So I then had to look at what successful people are doing and I copied their work ethic. The reason why I am saying to you, I looked at what successful people are doing, is because it's easy for a lot of us to, look at people that we know and they started the business and you're seeing that they are nowhere in the business. And you say, even so and so started and they are nowhere in the business. Maybe this business only works for certain people. Or you say, even so and so has quit. So we look at people that have quit and we don't even ask ourselves what are their work ethics. So I always say, and this is a tip or an advice I want to give you, not in our business but at anything in life, anything that you want to excel in, anything that you want to achieve in life, look at people that are already at that level, people that are achieving those things you want to achieve, and copy their work ethic. So instead of asking those that failed at what you want to achieve, ask those that are doing well. And I promise you, that's the biggest life upgrade you can give yourself, surrounding yourself with people that are at the level where you want to be. Now, when I decided that I'm going to do this, I still remember in June 2016, I made 6,700 rands from the business. July 2016, I made 19,900 rands from the business. August 2016, I made 40,000 rands from the business. Please remember these figures: June, July, August. I'm going to show you my June, July, August 2025 so that you can see the potential income. And I also want you to then see how, you know, in June 2016, when I got paid 6,700, did I think that in June 2025 I would earn what I earned? Of course not. But I trusted the process. I continued putting in the work. By the way, when I got 6,700, it was not my first pay from the business. My first pay from Forever Living, I still remember very well, it was 400 rands. And I felt like, 400 rands. My problems are bigger than this. But I trusted the process and I stayed the course. Ladies and gentlemen, within 6 months of building my business, and I'm not saying within 6 months of starting, I'm saying building my business, because a business requires you to put in the work. Within 6 months of building and being intentional, I managed to pay up those clothing accounts. I managed to pay up that credit card, those personal loans. I managed to pay up the debts that were giving me sleepless nights. I also managed to start affording to pay rent, and I started getting the products at a discount price, at a higher discount price. So within 6 months of being intentional, I started achieving my why. Was it easy? No, it was not easy. I had people telling me how it's a pyramid scheme, how Kumo, we know so and so who is a people's person, and they still didn't do well in the business. What makes you think you'll do well as shy as you are? I had my parents that were not approving, telling me that, Kumo, we took you to school. Now you want to sell. Why don't you focus on your career? I had colleagues that were judgmental, friends that were judgmental. So I just chose to block my ears from all the negativity and not listen to the naysayers. And this post, ladies and gentlemen, I must say this. When I joined Forever in 2016, I still, like I said, I still believed that my breakthrough was going to come from my science career. And I remember telling that lady that, listen, I don't want this business to interfere with my career and my studies. And she said, no, this is something you can do part time. And I was able to do it part time to a point where in April 2017, to pursue their business full time. So that post that you are seeing there, it's from April 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last time I was an employee. I've been my own boss ever since because of this business. From 2017 up to now, it's been 8 years. And what you are seeing on the other side there is just a note from my boss, previous boss, wishing me well on my new journey. So allow me to reintroduce myself. Yes, I am a qualified scientist, but I'm no longer practicing as a scientist. I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom. And I do forever living business full time. I left my son's career within 1 year of starting the business. Now, remember my son that I said I wanted to stay with him and be able to afford to pay school fees for him? He now stays with me. By the time my son started school, he was already staying with me. And I'm also proud and happy to say we are not even renting, we are homeowners through the business. Imagine as a scientist, I could not even afford to pay rent to being a homeowner through this amazing business. And by the time my son started school, when he started when he started staying with me, I was already a stay-at-home mom. So I've been a stay-at-home mom literally since my son started school. This was him when he started stage 5 at a school. They call it stage 5, but it's grade R. That was his first day of school, and you'll see that's his first day in grade 1. So literally, I've been there, and look at how much he has grown. Look at how much I've grown as well, you know. So he's been at this school for 7 years, and I have been unemployed or unemployable or not working for anyone for 8 years. I've been doing forever living full time for 8 years now. My son has been at this school for 7 years. And I'm emphasizing that because it's not just any school, it's actually on the top 10 most expensive private day schools in South Africa. And my child goes to the same school with people that we regard as the elite in the country, you know. And I just sell forever living products for a living. I want to show you how much my income would be if I was still employed. The Where I was employed, I was working as a research technician, and I was furthering my studies, so I needed to have a PhD so I can be a researcher. Now, when I left my job then, my monthly take home after all the deductions was about 12,500 rands when I left my job. So I went and looked up that currently the person that's doing the same job, how much are they taking home per month? And I actually said, you know what, let me take the per annum figures. And you can see if I was still doing the job that I was doing when I left, I would be taking home between 234,000. Fadi, can I please ask you not to write on my screen? Please don't press anything on your device. Just listen because you end up writing on the screen. So I would be taking home between 234,000 to 313,000 per annum, meaning monthly I'd be earning plus minus 19, 20,000 rands per month. And my dream job was to become a researcher. And a researcher is taking home, I mean, is making per annum between 381 to 512. For you to be a researcher, you need at least like a better earning researcher, you need a PhD. Now, I can tell you right now, even this year, I would still not have a PhD because I was studying part time. So I would still be a research technician, and that's how much I would be earning. And let's say I'm a researcher, that's how much I would be earning per annum. Meaning per month, it will be plus minus 30,000, 31,000, 32,000. Now, I want to show you my income for 2024 when I was highly pregnant from this business I'm going to introduce you to. In February, the month before I gave birth, and I'm mentioning this because when I was pregnant, I was not myself, you know, but I still, because I had built a business, it still gave me an income, even on months where I was not fully myself and fully present. And because I have built a business that brings me that income. So in February 2024, a month before I gave birth, I earned over 110,000 rands. And in March 2024, a month that I gave birth, I earned just over 120,000 rands. As you can see there, look, the income fluctuates because it's sales. That's why I was saying it's not a salary, because every month you work for your income. So it fluctuates. But let's go to this year, 2025. Um, from bottom up, that's my income for from January. As you can see, January it was over 189,000, February 198, March 263, April 271. Now let's look at this is the income. What you are seeing here now, it's my income for May. That income for May also includes the 13th check that I got. So the company also shares annual dividends with people that have qualified. So when I calculate my 13th check that I got in May from the business plus my income for that month, I actually got paid over 600,000 rand in just 1 month. But just the income alone, it was 289,000 rands in April. Now let's go to June. If you can remember, June 2016, I said I got paid 6,700 rands. June 2025, I got paid just over 317,000 rands. And then July 2025, if you can remember July 2016, I got paid 19,900. July 2025, I got paid just over 307,000. Yes, you can see, like I said, it's not a fixed amount because it's sales, it fluctuates. And then today, this month in August, if you can remember my August 2016, I got paid 40,000 rands. August 2025, today we got paid. I got paid just over 315,000 rands. See how in 1 month I make more than what would be my annual salary had I said, no, I don't want to do this business. I can't sell. I don't know how to talk to people. So this is me showing you how putting in the work can really get you this far. So I want you to have a look at these two tables. The first table only has one leg supporting it, whereas the other table has four legs supporting it. The first table with one leg, should that leg break, the table collapses. Whereas the table with four legs, even if one leg breaks, the table will wobble, but it will remain standing. Now, I want you to think of these two tables as your life, and the legs of these tables, think of them as your income. Which table are you right now? Are you currently just relying on one source of income that should you lose that income, your life collapses? I think COVID showed us that there's no such a thing as job security. You can wake up tomorrow and you can be called at your office to say, look, we no longer need your services, we are retrenching. You can have the same job for 11 years and get called that, look, we are restructuring, you need to reapply. You know, COVID showed us also that there's no such a thing as job security. How many people do we know that lost their jobs? How many businesses do we know that actually didn't survive COVID? And you might be there asking yourself, Kumo, how was business during COVID? The fact that this is a health and wellness business, even during COVID, we were doing well because health is an essential. Look, even in the middle of the global crisis, I'm not talking the pandemic that we had in 2020, any global crisis that might arise, even in the midst of all of that, health will always be an essential. And that for me was actually another reason why I said yes to the opportunity that, look, Kumo, even 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what you are doing will still be an essential because health is a need to people. So if you currently have one source of income, I want to encourage you and say, do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. In Forever Living, as much as it's one business, you can actually have multiple streams of income within the business itself. And I'll share with you later what I mean by multiple streams of income within the business itself. So, as you know, the business is called Forever Living Products. Maybe you came into the business saying, Forever Living, selling, it's not for me. The same way I went into that meeting being negative and saying, they're saying life-changing business opportunity. How are products going to change my life? I need you to be open-minded, change your thinking so your life can change. Now, our business is what we call a network marketing business opportunity. That means we market products and we introduce other people as well to market products with us. So this is unlike your normal traditional sales where you are only you are the only person selling, and you are relying on only your own profits, that means if you are sick or you are not yourself, your shop is closing, you cannot sell. But in our business, even on months and days where you are not fully present and you are maybe sick, you actually get to a point where you've built what we call a residual income, a passive income, where you don't even have to just rely on your own sales to make an income, which is the nice thing about this. So we make an extra income through selling high quality products, but we also get paid for introducing other people who are also selling the same high quality products. So Forever Living is saying, oh, Kumo, if it wasn't for Lerato, you wouldn't be part of Forever Living and you wouldn't be selling the products. So Lerato, because you've introduced Kumo, we will give you a recruitment bonus, an introduction fee. And also because now Kuma is buying products from us, she's reselling, she's also introducing other distributors. We will give you a certain percentage from the sales that Kuma is doing with her team as a commission, you know, and it's a certain percentage, but Lerato can never earn more from Kuma's business than what Kuma is earning from her own business. So you can never earn more from someone else's efforts than what they are earning from their own efforts. Literally, you get a certain percentage. But when you look at how many people you are bringing in, when you also combine those percentages together, combined, it becomes a significant amount, you know. So also, Forever Living is saying, oh, because you are saying yes to the business to buy products from us, you will get the products at a discount price. When you resell the products, you are selling them at the price that we as Forever Living has set. So, meaning your money will come back with profit. So you make money from selling the products, which is through profit. Other people just say, you know what? I just want to sell the products. I'm not going to introduce people into the business. And they sell products and make good profit. You know, maybe Kuma just wants an extra 2,000 rands or an extra 10,000 rands. You know, your profit also depends on how much you are selling. But when Kuma then introduces someone else into the business, she starts activating a commission for team building. That is where now another stream of income where the commission comes in. So you can still, and this is what also separates us from why we are also not a pyramid scheme. You can still make money without recruiting anyone, just from selling your products. Also, the reason why we are not a pyramid scheme is because you can introduce Kuma into the business and Kuma can bypass you and out earn you. Kuma can earn more than what you are earning. Um, like for instance, we've got a lady in our team who started the business last year. You know, the person that she joined under, who's also in our team, she started the business in 2021. This one started last year in 2024, but she's earning more than what she's earning. She's, you know, qualified for things that the other lady hasn't qualified for. I can also use myself as an example. The lady whose team I'm under, when I joined the business, I wasn't directly under her, but I was under her team. She was 3 years in the business at that time. You know, I could easily say the more I work, I'm pushing her. You know, if this was a pyramid scheme, it would mean the more I work, the more I'm pushing her. But currently, even though she had a 3 years head start, I earn more than 3 times what she's earning. I've qualified for way more than what she has qualified for. So, this is just to say you are not pushing anyone, you are not working for anyone, and you can out earn the person that brings you into the business. And you can also make money without even recruiting. It's just that the recruiting part of it means that you are now distributing more products. And the more products you distribute, the more money you get to make. What do I mean by that? If I'm able to sell 40 products alone, and maybe let's say that's my potential, my capacity, I can sell 40 products alone in 1 month. You know, I cannot increase time, I cannot increase the hours in a day, but how I'm going to increase the quantity that I'm distributing a month is by introducing someone else and also teaching them how to also sell 40 products a month. And if I introduce someone and I teach them how to sell 40 products in a month, it means now together combined, we are selling 80 products. When that person also introduces someone else, it means now together combined, we are selling 120 products. So the only reason why you are introducing people, it is so that together you can distribute more products. Not so that Forever can pay you. Maybe Forever doesn't have money to pay you. Now they need you to go and recruit for them to have money to pay you. No, you can still make money without recruiting. In actual fact, there are months where I also don't recruit, but I still get to make money because we are distributing products. So the company was founded in 1978. It's 47 years old this year. If it was a fly by night, it's not a fly by night, but also if it was a pyramid scheme, it would have collapsed a long time ago. And our headquarters are in Scottsdale, Arizona, in the USA. That is where the company originates from. The company also owns the aloe vera farms because our main product is aloe vera. The company owns the aloe vera farms in the Dominican Republic and in Dallas, Texas. So they are not outsourcing their aloe. So they won't come back and say, oh, we are waiting for the aloe. Oh, we have to source other aloes. No, literally, they are in control of all of that they produce. We also distribute products in more than 140 countries. That means you can introduce people from anywhere around the world and get to earn in different currencies. Like I'm literally earning from other countries that I've never even been to. You know, I'm earning in pounds from UK, but I've never even been to UK. That's because I've got a distributor in the team who's in UK. So you can earn from anywhere as long as you get to connect with people from anywhere around the world. The nice thing about building a global business is that when you are building like you get to a point where in your country, if you are sleeping, in other countries they are awake, so it gets to a point your business even starts operating 24 hours. That's the beauty of it all, apart from earning in different currencies. Earning in different currencies is also good because when you are building in a country where the currency is stronger than your country, when it comes to your country, it is a lot of money. So actually, maybe just type there on the comment section and let us know which country you are joining us from today as I continue here with my session. So that's the CEO Forever Living at our aloe vera farms in the Dominican Republic at the largest aloe plantation in the world. And ladies and gentlemen, I got the opportunity to visit the same aloe plantation um, early this year in February. I see we've got someone from Namibia. I know we have other people from South Africa. So I got to visit this aloe vera farm early this year at the Dominican Republic. I did not even spend a cent to get here. I had just qualified. We've got others from Botswana there. I had just qualified. All expenses paid for by Forever Living. And I got to see what they do. So it was such an amazing thing. And those women there that you are seeing at the top, so that's me with the black and white cover up. The other white ladies there that you are seeing, all of them, they also do Forever Living. They are from a country called Poland. So they are Polish speaking. And we were all at the Dominican Republic. We had all qualified for that incentive to be at the Dominican Republic. We all do Forever Living for different reasons, and we are all getting to take our goals through the same business. At the bottom there, in a yellow dress, that's me again, standing next to the CEO and his wife. On the other side, that's also me again, standing next to the president of Forever Living. So you also get to see the executives, you get to interact with the executives. So why aloe vera? And that's another thing that said that was a tick for me, or rather a green flag to say, okay, this is something that you can do because Kumo, even though you are saying you are shy and you can't sell and you've never sold anything, I mean, everybody knows aloe vera. Everybody knows the health benefits that comes with aloe vera. So it's not like you're going to be selling something that people are not already familiar with. So aloe has tremendous health benefits. The person that invited you to the meeting, ask them to share with you the product catalog so you can see the products and the benefits of each product in details. I'm not going to go into products now because if we are going to do that, we will run over, like, we won't finish now. So the person that invited you to the meeting will share the product catalog and the benefits of the products. Please ask them after this meeting. But just to give you an idea, we've got vitamins and supplements. We've got weight management products, we've got skincare products, we've got sports and nutrition. I mean, nowadays, people are really aware of the need to take nutritional supplements. You go on social media, you see women complaining about the elderly women complaining about menopause, other women complaining about period pains, other women complaining about skin, men complaining about whatever issues that they might be complaining about. Gym people wanting something that's going to help them with muscle recovery, something that's going to assist in terms of their nutritional requirements. So we've got products for everyone. You can just decide what you want to focus on. Now, what is it that we do at Forever Living? The first thing that you have to do is to use the products because you are going to sell them. So using something, not only does it it builds belief in the product. So you are going to also believe in the product because you're also using it. So using the product will allow you to then start doing profitable activities in the business that are going to help you grow the business. What are those profitable activities I'm talking about? Number one, selling the products. So if you build regular customers, if you can just develop 20 to 30 regular customers a month, your business is good. Now, developing regular customers does not happen overnight, but when you are taking care of your customers and you're really intentional and you're doing follow-ups, not only are you going to be able to retain your customers, but they will also refer people to you. So at Forever Living, we sell products and then we build a team by introducing other people that we are also going to coach to also sell the products by having their regular customer base and for them to also build a team. This is so that you are increasing the number of distributors in your team. And the more people distribute the products, it means that because each of our products, you'll see, are attached to points. So the more products you distribute, the more products you get to accumulate. And those points also determine the level that you are in on our compensation plan. And why would you want to grow on our compensation plan? Is because the more you grow on our compensation plan, the higher your discount and the more percentages you get to earn from the distributors in your team. Now, to show you that we are selling products that work. This is me. I wasn't pregnant here. I just get very bloated, ladies and gentlemen. But look at my tummy area from using the products. Look at that. I also have endometriosis and adenomyosis. In 2023, my gynecologist and I started having talks about me having a hysterectomy. And, if you can also read up about endometriosis, you'll see how it also causes, it affects fertility. But through me consuming the products, I managed to have my second born. So I've just had a hysterectomy about 3 weeks ago. So I can't have any more kids, but I managed to have my second born. And also look at this lady, her before and after from using the products. She has given birth to 3 children. Look at how good she looks. Look at this lady's skin. And I'm showing you the results of the products because people buy results, just to show you how good the products are. Look, she's even holding the products that she's using. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I mean by high quality products. Now, how do you become part of the business? When you join the business, there's no joining fee. You join by buying products that you get at a discount price. When you resell these products, your money comes back with profit. So the starting package that I recommend is usually option number 4. That is because with option number 4, especially if you are coming into the business to also introduce other distributors and really build a good income for yourself. Option number 4 and option number 5 are what allow you to be able to start building a team immediately. And also with option number 4 and option number 5, those options are what allow you to also start buying at higher discounts. Now, with option number 4, it's the cheapest way of becoming a full member in the business. It's Option 4 and 5 have the same benefits, but their amounts are different. That's because option number 4, you don't choose your own products, you get a combo. Inside this combo, it's top 10 selling products, 25 products in total, top 10 selling in Southern Africa. So from these top 10 selling, you will be able to identify your top selling as you are selling these products, and then you can focus on your top selling. So your first combo, you buy at 7.1 at 5% discount. Then going forward, you choose your own products and you are buying at 30% discount. Whereas option number 5, you choose your own product. It's not a combo. Let's say you've got people that just want alus. You can just start with option number 5 and just buy alus. Now, option number 5, you can also divide into smaller amounts. That is where option 1, 2, and 3 come in. Now, with option 1, 2, and 3, you cannot build a team immediately. You are also going to buy with 5% up until you reach option 5, and you have to do it within 2 consecutive months. What do I mean by that? Let's take option number 2, for instance, which is 2,600. If you buy with 2,600 the beginning of August, and within 2 weeks you've sold your products, your 2,600 came back with 5% profit. You take the same 2,600 again in August and you buy. Now on the system, it will be like you've bought for 5,200 rands. Now in August, you've bought for 5,200 rands. And then in September again, remember now in August, the remaining 2 weeks of the month, you are selling your 2,600 rand stock again. Now in September, beginning of September, you are buying again for another 2,600 rand. On the system, it will be like you have now bought for 2,600 times 3, it will be like you've now bought for how much? Just over 5,200, 6 point something. And then, no, almost 8,000. Yeah, when you buy for the third time. When you buy again for the fourth time in September, you would have reached option number 5 within 2 consecutive months, month 1 being August, month 2 being September, and you would have reached that 10,000 rands. But during August and September, you are only getting products at 5% discount. During August and September, you cannot yet introduce other distributors, meaning you are not able to build a team. So you are not even regarded as a full member yet. You are just what we call a preferred customer. So you will only be able to start building a team after you've reached option number 5. Now the best way to become a full member and hit the ground running is option number 4. It's the cheapest way of becoming a full member in the business. You might be there and asking and saying, oh, Kumo, but what if I maybe buy with 2,500 in August, and then in September I managed to only buy twice again, meaning 2,500 times 3. So I would have done only 7,500 in 2 consecutive months, not that 10,000 that you are talking about. Then what happens? So when we get to October now, remember your month 1 was August, your month 2 was September. When we get to October, what you bought with in September, in August, doesn't count anymore. Now you're going to build on top of the 5,000 from September. So September becomes your month 1, meaning in October, you need to now sell again for 2.5 in 2 weeks, like another 2.5 the remaining 2 weeks of the month. Then you've reached that 5,000 in October, plus the 5,000 in September is that 10,200. I hope this makes sense. However, there are also people that are saying, you know what? I don't have the full membership option. I'll start with option number 2. But within 1 month, not even 2 months, they reach full membership. So the best option is option number 4. You're able to start building a team immediately. And this is the option 4 that you are seeing. You get 25 products in total, top 10 selling products. Now, our products are attached to countries have different currencies. So we buy products at different prices. Now, the company then decided to use points as a way of standardizing things to say, look, whether you've bought 2 points worth of products in South Africa or 2 points worth of products in Dubai, 2 points is 2 points. It doesn't matter how much you bought it for in the UAE and how much you bought it for in South Africa. It's 2 points, even though you've bought it at different prices. Now, these points, we call them case credits. In short, we say CC. So on social media, when you are hearing people talking about case credits or CCs, just know that they are talking about products. So the more products you get to distribute with your team, the more CCs you get to accumulate. And these CCs also determine your level in the business. So we've got different level in the business. I'm not going to dwell much into this because of time, but don't worry. When you are in the business, we do onboarding and we will teach you these different levels and how you get to grow, how you accumulate these points. So do not worry about this. I just want you to see this compensation plan and see how every level you are buying at different discounts. So the more you grow in the business, the higher your discount on products and the higher the percentages that you are getting on the commission from the sales of your team. So I just want to also show you that should you decide that, you know what, I don't want to build a team, I really just want to sell, you can still make a good 6,000 rands plus per month from selling products alone. What do I mean by that? Per bottle, I'm going to use aloe vera as an example because it's easier. I'm going to show you how much money you get to make, and when we translate that into points, how many points you also would have made in your business that month. Now, when you sell one bottle of aloe, your profit, I'm not talking about what you've bought it for, your profit as a full member, after you've bought that combo to start the business, your profit now going forward, when you sell one bottle of aloe, you are profiting 168. When you sell 10 bottles of aloe, you are profiting 1,684,000 rands. You can literally say, you know what? I'm going to sell 10 bottles of aloe a week. And you divide these 10 bottles of aloe into just 2 bottles a day. By Friday, on the 5th day, you've sold 10 bottles. In your pocket, you've got 1,684. A month has 4 weeks. When you do this every week, by the end of the month, you would have made 6,736. In terms of points, that translate to 4 case credits or 4 CCs. So when you hear someone saying, oh, I achieved 4 CCs in my business, know that they've, through retailing, know that they have made profit. And this is at the lowest level, by the way. The more you grow, the more profit you get to make for the same amount of bottles that the other person is selling. So when you hear someone saying, oh, I retailed 4 case credits worth of products, know that that person made profit of 6,736. Now, when then you say, okay, I'm retailing, I see Agnes is saying, is it possible to start by selling and later build a team? Yes, you can start by, when I joined Forever, I didn't think I'll build a team. In actual fact, I just didn't think I'm good at recruiting, and I thought no one would want to join my team. You know, I thought no one would want to be part of my team. So I said, I don't know how to recruit. I'm just going to focus on selling products. Even though I've never sold anything, I think it will be easier to sell than to recruit. That's what I believed, you know. But with our mentorship and sessions, believe me, you'll get to a point where you are saying, oh, okay, actually, I want to also start recruiting. Now, you when you then say, I'm selling this much and I'm making 6,000 rands worth of profit, when you then decide to introduce Kumo and say, Kumo, you know, I am selling 10 bottles a week of aloe, and in a month I'm selling 40, and I get to make 6,736 from doing that. You know, when you also join the business, that's how much you will make if you do exactly what I'm doing. When Kumo joins and she buys her combo to start the business, Forever Living will say, oh, Agnes, if it wasn't for you, Kumo wouldn't buy products from us. Therefore, we will give you a recruitment bonus. So for every person, ladies and gentlemen, that you bring into the business and they buy this combo, you get paid 1,623. Imagine bringing 10 people into the, I'm just saying, it's you're not always going to bring 10, but imagine just bringing 10. That's 1,623 times 10. That's over 16,000 rands just for bringing people into the business that are also buying their combos to distribute the products. That's excluding your profit that you are already making. So do you see how much income you can make? By the way, this 6,000, like I said, is just at the lowest level. From supervisor level here, this profit, it's at 30% discount, okay, as a full member, as a person that joined with that combo. This is now at 30% discount. At supervisor level, you start getting your profit at 38% discount, meaning your profit for selling 40 bottles increases from that 6,700 to another amount, just over 7,000 rands. It increases. Now, at supervisor level as well, you also now unlock a monthly income from the commission of the sales of your team. Now, this commission is effort based. If you don't have distributors in your team, you will earn 0 rands commission. If you've got distributors in your team, you will earn. My first supervisor income was 6,700 rands. At the same time, I was getting products at 38% discount, meaning I was also making profit from selling. Assistant manager, you are now buying products at 43% discount. Look at how that is increasing. And for me, my commission at assistant manager was 19,900. I've got someone else in the team whose commission as assistant manager was 33,000 rands. I also have someone else in the team whose commission at assistant manager was 7,000 rands. So it differs, it depends on the efforts. At manager level, you are buying products at 48% discount. Your commission also, it depends. My first manager commission was 39,000. I've got Promise. I think she's in the meeting. I think her first manager income was it 68,000 or 79,000? It depends. You also get other managers that are earning just 2,000 rands. Like I said, your commission is effort based. Mine was 40,000 rands. So, but look at the discount that you are getting products at. This means you selling products as well is giving you the profit. Now, I just want to show you how also when you are putting in the work, you can get to manager level. Um, the people that you are seeing here on the screen are people from the team that joined the business um, between January up to now, and they've reached manager level. So all these people, let me not say between January up to now, let me just say all these people started the business in 2025. All these people you are seeing on the screen, it's not even all of them, but these are the people from the team, some of the people from the team that started their businesses in 2025, and they are already at manager level, just to show you that it's also possible. Having had shown you this as well, not everyone will get to manager level the same time as others. Our journeys are different, but I just want to show you also that it is possible. And I can tell you, all these people that are on the screen, all of them did not think that they would be here by now. All of them, when they started, they said, I can't sell. I'm not going to recruit. I don't know if people would want to be part of my team. But they started anyway, and they started putting in the work, and they became committed and consistent. You might be there and maybe sometimes on TikTok or on social media, you see people saying, oh, the only people that are doing well in forever are people that have money. Oh, the only people that are successful are people that came with money. Oh no, she had money, that's why she's where she is. Ladies and gentlemen, here's an example of someone. Maybe with me, you can say, Kumo, you were a scientist. Even though I'm telling you how much I was earning, maybe you might not even believe that. And even if I tell you that, yes, when I left my job, I got my pension, but my pension was only 80,000 rands. But you might not even believe that. You might say, no, you've got your pension, and maybe that's why you've been unemployed for 8 years. You still have your pension money. But here, by the way, I don't have, we all know that even if you get your pension money, for as long as there's no more money coming in, that one runs out. And really, my pension was just 80,000 rands, but we are not there. This lady, she used to sell in the streets of Cape Town. She used to live in a shack. She could have said, I don't have money to buy products to start this business. They are expensive. Oh, it's a lot of money to start. But she started because she had a vision of where she wanted to be. She was a young Makoti selling in the street, staying in a shack with her husband. She started the business. Look at her in her shack, even doing stock counting. You know, this was in 2022. I want to show you how a lot can happen in 3 years if you are focused, committed, and consistent. I want to show you how a lot can happen if you really become intentional and say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to give it my best. Look at this lady. Look at where from a shack, look at where she's now staying, not having a car. Look at the car that she's driving. And she did not only even get a car for herself, she even got a car for her husband. Look at that. From someone that was selling in the street, she could have made an excuse and said, I don't make enough money in the street. I can't start. We also have car incentives, ladies and gentlemen, that's over and above what you are earning. So we've got the profit from selling products, we've got the commission from the distributors in your team. We also have, before the car incentives, I didn't mention another one that we have that we call leadership income, but that one is going to confuse you. That's why it's not even here. But that's also a good income. And then we also have car incentives. These car incentives are also over and above what you are earning. The nice thing with these car incentives is that it's money that gets paid to you on a monthly basis on top of what you're already earning. You don't even have to buy a car. You can just do whatever you want to do with the money. We've got level 1 up to level 3 car incentive. Um, we do have people in our team that have these car incentives, but I want to show you people that are not even 12 months in the business from our team, and they have the car incentive. Both these ladies, the other one is Paulina from Namibia, the other one is Promise Makunyan from South Africa. They started the business in November last year, but they have car incentives. I see there are questions there. I'm going to have a look at them after this because I'm looking at the time. So I'll look at your questions after I finish my presentation. So you don't have to be in the business for many years to qualify for these things. I want to show you the car that the cars I've bought through the business with the car incentive money. I mentioned to all of you that my first car, I bought it through my dad's name when I was working as a scientist. But look at what the first car I bought through Forever Living. The same year I joined the business, by December that year, I bought myself this car. Again, it shows you how a lot can happen in 1 year if you are committed. I started January 2016 wanting to return the car I bought on my dad's name back to the dealership because I could not afford to keep it, to ending the same 2016 driving my dream car that I've bought in my own name because of the business. During COVID in 2020, I upgraded to another Mercedes-Benz, the convertible. You'll see how I'm a Mercedes girl. I love a Mercedes. So that's the car that I bought in the midst of COVID. During lockdown, I was just waiting for the president to open up so I can go and buy my car. I was not worried about losing my job. I was not worried about my business suffering. By the way, when you join the business, you also get an online store. So your customers are able to buy from your online store. So even during COVID, as much as we were not allowed to move around, our company was opened because it's essentials that we were selling. So remember, courier companies were allowed to courier only essentials during the pandemic. So our customers would buy from our online store and the courier guy would collect from our product center, our product depot, and courier to the doorsteps of our customers. So even during COVID, in the midst of the pandemic, I was still making a monthly six-figure income. So that's the car I upgraded to. And ladies and gentlemen, last year when I had my second born, I said, Kumo, your people are buying their wives push gifts. And at that time, I felt like I wanted a bigger car because I now had two kids and I felt like my kids deserve to ride in style, in comfort, in luxury. And I work hard as well, you know. So this year in March, I decided to spoil myself with a Mercedes Benz GLE 450D. Like I said, I'm a Mercedes girl. So this is the car that I'm currently driving. I absolutely love it. This is my car. No one is gonna wake up and say, "Give me my car keys. Don't drive my car anymore." You know, literally, ladies and gentlemen, everything that I've accumulated through the business, it's through my own efforts. No one will come and say, "Give me those things." No one will say, "Get out of my house." Like my husband said, "Get out of my house" back in 2014. And I also want to say it feels so good, you know, to have savings, to be able to invest, you know, to speak to brokers and they advise you how to invest, where to take your money. It feels absolutely good. Before, when I was employed, I could never have such conversations because with what money? You might be a gentleman in this meeting and asking, are there men in the business? This gentleman was a policeman. Now, his story is a unique one. The wife is the one that started the business in 2012. Unfortunately, the wife passed away in 2018 and he inherited the business. He carried on with the business from where the wife left off. Look, this guy earns over 1.6 million rands a month from the business that he inherited from the wife who passed away in 2018. How many businesses do we know that, you know, when we were growing up and we were surrounded by our peers whose families had businesses and like shops and all of that. And when the founder of those shops passed away, like their parents or their grandfathers or whoever, those businesses died with those people. But in our business, whoever your next of kin is inherits your business because you like, I mean, if you introduce Kumo, Lerato, now Kumo is independently building her business. Lerato is independently building her business. Zanele is independently building her business. When something happens to you, those people are still building their businesses, but because they are part of your team, you have a certain percentages as shares in their businesses. So whatever they do, you earn a certain percentage. And the nice thing is, should something happen to you, Forever Living trains your next of kin. They take over and carry on from where you would have left off. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a legacy that you would be building for your family. If you also love traveling, we've got travel incentives. When I joined Forever, traveling was not even on my bucket list because with what money, you know. So honestly speaking, I was not well traveled when I joined Forever, and through the business, I've been to over 26 countries since 2017 up to now. So let me just show you some of the countries I've been to. The nice thing with these trips is that you get to take a partner of your choice, all expenses paid for both of you. And you also qualify for this. We'll explain when we do onboarding. So I've been to Rome, Barcelona, Monte Carlo, Dallas, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Thailand, Mexico, New York. That's in Thailand again. That's in Bangkok in Thailand. This is in Italy. So I've been in Italy. I was in Rome. I also went to Lake Como. I also went to Amalfi Coast in Positano, Amalfi Coast. I was also in Milan. Um, I've also been to Sweden. I've also been to Abu Dhabi. I've been to Singapore, Bali. What I'm showing you now, I didn't spend a cent for those trips. The latest trip I went to, I got to also go with my son. So I've been traveling with a plus one. Even here, I went with my sister as my plus one. She's been my plus one. My sister that accommodated me when I didn't have accommodation. But I also got to take my son with me this year to Paris, you know. So I'm going to show you the trips I've personally sponsored myself. I've been to Doha in Qatar. I wouldn't be able to pay for this trip if it wasn't for the business. I actually went there to launch a ladies' business that has just started the business. So that's here in Doha, in Qatar. As you can see, there it says Forever Living Middle East. I've also taken my parents on holiday to Egypt. I've taken them on holiday to Dubai. That's us in Dubai. That's us at our Forever Living offices in Dubai. That's us on a cruise from Cape Town to Namibia. That's the latest trip I took my parents to last year. We went to Victoria Falls. Next month, I've qualified for an all expenses paid for trip to Thailand. I'm taking my plus one with me. My plus one that I'm taking is my other sister who has never traveled outside South Africa, but I've also paid for my parents. So they're also going to Thailand with us. My parents are 71 years old, but they are international travelers. My son, when I took him to go and stay with my parents, it was on his it was on his first birthday, and we never celebrated his birthdays. You know, his birthday came with so many bad memories because I would think of how I moved out of my marital home on his first birthday. This was the year that we started celebrating his birthday, the year that he started staying with me, and we went to Mauritius for his birthday. So this was us in Mauritius. We've since had other local um, trips, you know. That's the latest one. So before we went to Paris, we started off in Dubai. You know, my son's first dolphin interaction and I was not in Ushaka Marine. It was in Dubai, you know. And we also have 13th checks. I'm about to finish. This is over and above what you are earning. The company shares dividends with distributors that have qualified. Annual dividend. The amounts are also in US dollars, you know. So this year I got over 20,000 US dollars as my 13th check. But as you can see there, the other 13th checks, I've already qualified again for next year to go and get a 13th check. There's also someone else in the team that has already qualified to go and get a 13th check. We have other people in the team that are also working to go and get their 13th checks. Now, I'm quickly finishing. This lady joined our team. As you can see there, that's her post in July 2024. But she's one of the first person after me this year to qualify for the 13th check. You can imagine other people that she found in the business in our team. You know, so she's qualified for the 13th check. The person that she joined under hasn't even qualified for the 13th check. She joined last year, but she's one of the people in the team that are earning over 100,000 rands. She's also a level 3 car incentive qualified. So she's getting 14,000 rands for a car incentive. These are also people in the team that have qualified for Thailand, the same Thailand I said we are going to next month. So, yeah, I'm going to skip other stories because of time. So, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say I started with zero clients, but I started. So, you need to start as well. You know, you don't have to be great to start, but you need to be. You need to start so you can be great. And I want to say sometimes what is standing between you and your breakthrough is the fact that you are not taking a leap of faith. So you need to take that leap of faith and tell yourself that I'm going to do it, you know. And anyone that you look up to, look what I shared with you about myself today and the other people in the meeting tonight, all those people, they had to get out of their comfort zone to be where they are. Selling was not my strong point. Talking to people was also not my strong point. I had to get